Program Committee, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davor Vusir. I work with, at Uppsala University, and I'd like to present to you ALLVIS. At the present, ALLVIS is just Windows file shares. And there's one file share per department. And within the file share, there is the project folders. One project folder per project. And the project folders comes pre-populated with 3 sets of folders. One for the working materials, one for the deselectables, and one that will be preserved. And from a Windows Explorer view, it looks like this. And this is, of course, not enough when it comes to collaboration, both nationally and international. So we have to extend the functionality of this. We're quite happy with the Windows file sharing. It works fine, and users are likes it as well. But we can't reach out from the university. This is the back end, and on top, in lack of better words, I call it the NFS gateway, and that's also standalone DFS, Microsoft DFS. We know that the NFS client and the SMB client is aware of referrer technology, and which means that NFS share, which is attached to the NFS gateway, can be used by the NFS client on the web servers. So the data directory on the own cloud instance is linked to the NFS gateway and gets redirected to the NFS server. This home export contains all the home directories for the users. On the right side, you got the equivalent for SMB. And every department gets its dedicated volume, which is shared via SMB and attached to the namespace. Beneath every departmental share contains the projects, and the projects, of course, contains the A, B, and G folders mentioned earlier. By using the external storage, and we can present the project folders to interested users, and they will be, if the user is a member of a certain access group, Active Directory access group, the project folder will be automatically mounted in the user's home directory. This approach makes the home folder on the NFS side just a placeholder for own cloud. And from another view, we create a set of Active Directory access groups. One set for own cloud, general access, maybe more granulated with which one that only has read access and so forth. The first ID marked in yellow might be a user invited by somebody to a project. The second one marked in green is an internal user which will have both SMB access to the file share and project folder and web access. And the third user marked in red is service user account in Active Directory to maybe deposit data from probes or even the service account for mounting the project folder. Here I'd like to share a disastrous moment. By this time last year, we suffered from a non-functional Active Directory. It was intermittent and we didn't know what it was. You could see one domain controller go down, non-accessible, and a few hours later it spread to the next and the next, rendering a non-functional Active Directory. No MS SQL, no mail, no file sharing, nothing. It was horrible. We eventually tracked it down to be an excessive amount of NTLM authentications. I've learned that it's quite common that web applications use NTLM for authentication. And you see, a lot of things happens under the hood when using NTLM. So we're still quite happy with SMB. It's got a good richness built in, and we'd like to continue with it. So is there a way to eliminate the effects of NTLM? Yeah, sure it is. Don't use SMB. That's one way. But if you like it, if you like it and you see the benefits from it, is there a way to mitigate the effects of NTLM? There are. The heavy lifting, I just found this the other week. The heavy lifting is already done by the developers by using a single connection and reused it for further access and file access. Another thing is SMB client honors the Samba configuration file, which means that you can tweak it. And one option is of particular interest, and that's the password server option. With this, you can steer the SMB client to use a specific set of domain controllers. And in an Active Directory environment, you can also, when you know that Windows clients binds to DC in the same site, so you could create an NTLM authentication site to offload the production DCs for the production site. And both worlds are happy. One idea is create some more OC servers for the SMB notifications to offload the public web servers. This is pure Windows. The first max concurrent API is the number of thread workers to serve NTLM authentications. Applied on both domain controllers and Windows file servers. The second one, in certain domain trust scenarios, it's beneficial to activate this. And a short summary. Well, first of all, create the global namespace, one point, easy to remember point of origin for both clients and servers to go to, and connect the on-cloud service to the namespace. This approach with both web access and file share access, you allow deposit of data, regular file access, and so forth. You could use AD groups for sharing control. Perhaps create one group and also one own cloud share for or external connector for the project leader, which is allowed to share, and one other for the project members. By using SMB, makes previous versions an alternative to the files versions on cloud offers. Maybe combined with an app that can actually read the snapshots from web is a good idea. Dedicate OC servers for SMB notifications and make headroom for excessive NTLM authentication by dedicate domain controllers, edit Windows registry, and tweak the SMB.conf. I got one more slide with which I'd like to promote a little project, and that's Windows and iRods. Mac OS and Linux has got the I commands and the GUI Kanki for access iRod zone, but there's nothing similar to that for Windows. So I'm proposing developing a VFS module for Samba, which will present iRod zone to Windows. So if you're a C programmer with some time on your hand, you're invited. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Davor,
Thank you.
for your presentation. And we are just in time, I believe. So any questions to Davor, who was presenting, let me say, a combination of
Everything.
Oh, everything, yeah. That's okay. Any questions to him? Oh, sorry. Thank you.
I'm just curious, did you manage to use iRods with a cloud service?
No, I forgot to mention, I saw I've seen that there has been efforts to integrate own cloud with iRods, and I know Linux, own cloud via Linux and SMB client can use SMB shares. So why not expose an iRod zone to own cloud via an SMB share? That's
Any further questions, please?
may not be of any use to you, but there has been work in the past to write an iRods to, man, I'm bad with names. What's the protocol we all use to sync? Christ. WebDAV. Christ, sorry about that, that was horrible. There's been an iRods to WebDAV implementation. It was abandoned in the sort of middle 2000s, I know, but if that's what you want to write to, but on the other hand, you seem to be well advanced, so.
Sorry.
You seem to be well advanced in the work you're doing anyway, so I don't want to imply that, but if you want to take design methods from what they were doing, it's still out there, and I know the developers are still out there, it's just that the project ended.
Okay.
But that was outward-facing iRods to WebDAV.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions? Great. So thank